Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This amendment prohibits the Commandant of the Coast Guard from taking any action pursuant to Executive Orders 13990, 14008, 14030, 14057, 14082, and 14096 relating to climate change. This amendment prevents the Biden administration from prioritizing ideological pursuits over maritime safety and security. Not here to argue about climate change or not climate change, just a matter of who should be dealing with it. And the Coast Guard has enough trouble dealing with the problems it actually has. There are other agencies better suited to deal with that. But through these executive orders, the administration has sought to address alleged global warming through a whole of government approach, ensuring that every agency, regardless of mission, bends at the knee to the climate altar and embraces the administration's radical climate agenda. Unfortunately, the misallocation of Coast Guard resources to fight climate change will lead to less safe seas and threaten to undermine the core missions of the Coast Guard relating to maritime safety and law enforcement. Last year, the Coast Guard put out its climate framework. Among other things, it claims the Coast Guard will continue to invest in renewable energy and energy storage systems at our facilities. We will also pursue vehicle fleet electrification and build out infrastructure for vehicle charging. The service's current goal is to achieve 50% electrification within 10 years. Now, let's be clear. When the Coast Guard is performing search and rescue and interdiction missions, relying on intermittent power sources and unreliable electric vehicles that are particularly prone to damage from salt water can mean the difference between life and death. These policies will make everyone, the service, the maritime industry, the public, less safe and will reduce the efficacy of the Coast Guard itself. Despite all the claims of climate catastrophe, the truth is the mortality rate from natural disasters has decreased by 98% over the past century. Misallocating resources at a whole of government level to address an issue that has become significantly less lethal over time is a profound waste of taxpayer dollars and should have no place in a sane society that is careening towards $35 trillion in debt by May. The Coast Guard should instead focus on its recruitment and retention crisis. It faces a nearly 10% shortage in the enlisted ranks, forcing the Coast Guard to take 10 cutters out of service, transfer 5 tugs to seasonal activation, and shutter 29 boat stations. Wouldn't it be great if they focused on that? Wouldn't that be awesome? But they're not going to. A service in such severe crisis must return to its core mission, the reason it's there in the first place, and resolve the issues threatening recruitment and retention so that it can conduct its core mission. There is no place for ideological pursuits while the House is on fire. And ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Chairman, the House is on fire. I do urge support of this amendment, and I yield the balance.